Hi, in today's video, I wanted to talk about creating time and kind of unexpected, I think, places to actually create and carving out time that is not necessarily like, okay, I'm trading doing this for this or whatnot, in a way to not give up anything that is important to you to do something else, like kind of how you can go walking around your favorite place to lose weight instead of being like, okay, I won't eat this and this. And for me, what that has actually been attempting to take away overthinking out of my schedule. I am a Virgo, and Virgos are known to overthink and stuff like that, just because they tend to be described as perfectionists. And whether or not you subscribe to astrology and Western astrology, like that, I will say that I am a type of person that tries to get this perfection, and it is usually motivated by efficiency, but at a certain point it passes being considered efficient to think in that way, or chase your own tail in a way without I guess discrepancy. If it starts to hurt me, it becomes less efficient at that point. And when I'm doing that cyclic thought, it really does not feel like that. It feels like I'm winning almost, because I've seen a couple of think pieces, and I totally agree with the fact that in America, a lot of times struggle is associated with success, even though I don't know who has actually struggled. I can't really name that many people that have struggled, and I would be yeah, they are successful, to whatever metric that they have. I definitely think that I am prideful of people that are able to struggle and still find their light or whatnot. But I think in terms of success, billionaire, trillionaire, or success in having a family that there's not a lot of trauma in, I don't know if I can name that many people, at least in my family or my experience, that their struggle tied to the success. I think a lot of times what it takes to end that cycle is being okay, I've struggled, but it's time for that to end. And then that's when you find that success that we try and shoot for as humans. And I think also in the sense of referring to artists. So for me, I am prescribed medications, antidepressants or stimulants, or one of each, rather. For me, it has helped a lot with thinking in cycles. But I recently, as a result of the illness that I'm prescribed for, ADHD, I have lost one of my prescriptions. I often do not have it ready to pick up before the other bottle ends. I was behind on doing my appointments, and so I haven't been able to get my medications for a month now. And that has really reminded me that I wouldn't say I was abusing the medication. I really have only been actually prescribed medication for maybe I think a year now, with that being the antidepressants and the stimulants for less time than that. So it was kind of when I didn't have it again, it was a very acute reminder of I don't have a lot of systems in place to avoid falling into any type of, I think that because, like I say, I tend to think that the struggle is helpful. I tend to think that like reward system of like pain, like if I'm in pain for this amount of time, it's definitely going to come back around to being success. I literally, in the depression, until it feels very bad, I think that I'm doing great. And this is an absence of me eating correctly or eating regularly. It's an absence of me like doing physical activities. It's an absence of me doing art. But I tend to think that I'm doing great, or at least I think I'm trying. And it's like, as much as I can be trying, I think that humans are so, we get, say X amount of energy batteries a day, and you can put it in an efficient machine or you can put it in a not efficient machine, and what you get out is representative of that. And for me, I haven't had an efficient machine in spaces that have not been my workplace ever. I think that efficiency is not always the biggest thing. For me, it is the big thing that I like to obsess over. But another thing is just like genuine just comfort in my life, and kind of like how some people will budget to be comfortable. Like they don't want to feel the feeling of scarcity, so they make sure that they budget. And that's like putting it into an efficient machine. So efficient can be not just efficient in like, oh, I got this many more tasks done. It can be efficient in that I'm living the life I want to live. So not just not just the X amount of tasks. It's like it can also be I am not feeling scarcity, or I am hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. So I think that everybody has a plethora of those type of goals that they want. And in the sphere of art itself, holy shit, in the sphere of art itself, I do have like these goals, but when I look at them, like, on paper, I'm like, a lot of these aren't goals. They are like perpetual tasks, like to get better at art. When do I consider myself good at art? I think it's like a depressing loop. It feels nice to write it down because it feels like struggle. It feels like I'm trying, when that is not, like, it's simply not a good goal to, I think, any person's like analytical standards. And like I was saying, for me, a lot of those goals have a background of like rumination, and ruminating on them, like it doubles in on like how it makes me feel like, okay, I'm really thinking about this, I'm really trying with this. And sometimes, a lot of the times, if I don't feel like I'm trying, I don't feel like I'm struggling, I don't feel like I will do anything good, one, and I don't like the feeling of not trying and getting a good outcome. Sometimes it's like, I know a lot of people will post and they're like, oh wow, TikTok really likes to post that don't take a long time to do, or like, okay, I tried this like for 20 hours on this video and I only tried 15 minutes and this is the one that went viral. And I think there is something to that in itself, but I think that ruminating it blurs your vision on what is actually good and what is actually the goal. And I think that when I set an actual goal, that there's no room for good and bad, like art. And if I want to make 5 TikToks and I make 5 TikToks that don't do well, or I spend a lot of time on all these TikToks, or I spend 2 seconds on them, if I get upset with myself for that, and I don't consider that I have accomplished this and done a good job, then I should have never set that goal in the first place. Okay, I totally almost missed my exit. Hopefully I don't miss it. But yeah, so I don't think that that's a good goal. Like, and I think it's like, I feel like it can get complicated, and I think those are the things that are worth thinking about, whether or not whether or not, like, okay, so should it be important to me at all if I do this? Like, if I make 5 TikToks, maybe not. Maybe if my goal is to get a good TikTok, what is my goal truly? Like, at least for me, like, as an artist, I am not, I guess if I was a marketer, or like social media management was my job, I'd be like, okay, I want to get good TikToks. I want them to be like, I don't know, like maybe bright, fun, blah, blah, blah. But for me, no, I'm trying to get engagement. I want people to see my art. You know, I want people to discover me. And I think being clear with that, it like literally eliminates, for me at least, the rumination. Because it's not like, oh, I'm so bad at art, I'm so bad at art, I'm so bad at art. It's like none of that. It's genuinely like, I want people to engage with my art. I want to make a TikTok that is appealing to people. And that gives me things to cling on to and things to try for, which, like I'm saying, is very beneficial for me. And back to my main point, all this to say is that if I don't ruminate, I get time back to answer my actual question, to accomplish my actual goal. And it won't be time spent rendering this piece because I'm like just trying to make something good. It will be, I had a plan, I sketched something appealing, and I draw that thing. It's not like, specifically for me, I feel like in the past I've spent a lot of time rendering, and it's like, that's not even, I don't think that I don't even think my intention is to create well rendered pieces. Like, no, I like drawing cute shit. Like, I think that because it's like I'm copying something that maybe I've seen do well, or I've seen something be acclaimed, I literally lose what makes me happy. And I think that it's very hard to succeed doing something that you're not happy with doing. That's it. That's all. I'm going to pick my sister up from the movie theaters. Goodbye.